right? We're going to a video on YouTube, Road Warriors versus Midnight Express. The account is Classic Wrestling Gold. Road Warriors versus Midnight Express. The first thing you would see is a fan holding up a sheet with some images of the Road Warriors on it. For historical purposes, let's point out, this is April 1987. 5 months after Starrcade 86.
Yeah.
And you falling off the scaffold, being thrown off the scaffold, whatever you want to declare it to be.
Well, I didn't either fall. I dropped. How's that? It was a drop.
Good.
It was a drop. And I should mention also, this is it was the Midnight Express versus the Road Warriors in the first Crockett Cup in the Superdome in 1986. And they beat us there to go on and eventually become the winners, I believe. No, they went to the final match, but they lost the first year. This is the year they won. So no, which one was it?
They won the first year, I think, and then this year it was right. Dusty and Nikita.
That's right. So, point being, we had a little marriage the first couple of years. The first year, it was Midnight Road Warriors, and they won and went on to win the whole thing. This year, it was Midnight Road Warriors. They're eliminated in this match so that we go on and put Nikita and Dusty over because they were the eventual winners. That is because I keep getting the two mixed up sometimes in my head. But this was a quarterfinal match in the Crockett Cup that year. It was the second night of the two-night stand in Baltimore at the Civic Center, now the Arena. $300,000 gate for the 2 nights, somewhere around 22,000 tickets sold, I believe, or thereabouts for the 2 nights. And this is one of my favorite matches because this is everybody had matches the night before. This night, there wasn't a lot of prep time. We had worked with them a bunch. We just went out and you just called things as it went. But the finish, which happens kind of quick, just to prep everybody on it, I had burned Ronnie Garvin, thrown the fireball in his face the previous Valentine's Day, so about 2 months before this. And so the people knew that I threw fire. In this match, to cause some chaos, to get the Road Warriors eliminated without having actually been pinned, and to give the people their money's worth, the thought was Dusty gave us the finish himself. And basically, everything's going crazy, and the Road Warriors are going crazy, and I try to get in and throw the fireball at Animal, but Ellering trips me and stops me in the nick of time, and they get the racket, and they clear house, but they get disqualified after beating all of us and Big Bubba Rogers up. And the finish got over in the building. I know a lot of people will say, oh, it's a DQ today. But the people, not only on Animal's comeback, but then when when Animal gave Big Bubba that shoulder block, the place is blowing. The people loved it because that was I'll say this and I'll quit and we'll get to it. That was the formula with the Road Warriors, except for the Russians, because that was the natural Von Erichs, Freebirds kind of rivalry that worked. The Road Warriors always worked better and drew better when they had a smaller heel team with a lot of heat that they could physically throw around. Midnight Express, Tully Blanchard, and Arn Anderson. The attempts to recreate a menace in physical size, like the Russians gave to the Road Warriors, the Powers of Pain, Warlord, and Barbarian, didn't really work that good. Anytime they tried to find somebody as big and as strong, it just didn't seem like it worked. The Road Warriors were more vulnerable to the sneaky, really good workers rather than the big giants that would go toe-to-toe with them. So that's why the people always reacted better when that heel team had some heat. They wanted to see the Road Warriors throw the Midnight Express and I off the scaffold and kill us. That's why it worked. It wasn't about the quality of the match. So I think that was the formula with the Road Warriors. Make the unstoppable force and then give them the smaller guys with heat to beat up and to take apart, but always let the smaller guys cheat and get some heat so there's some doubt there. When it was just a physical, irresistible force and an immovable object, it didn't really capture people as well as you would think it might, at least over the long term. I guess I've explained that now, huh?
You have. I want to make a recommendation to everyone. You can watch this video on YouTube. Again, we're starting at 000 on the time clock. And the video is Road Warriors vs. Midnight Express. The account is Classic Wrestling Gold. But what I was going to suggest is maybe turn the sound up a little bit so you can hear the crowd. But if not, go back after this or before this and watch it with the audio, because the end of the match, the crowd in Baltimore is just going nuts for everything, especially Road Warrior Animal's comeback and the shoulder block on Big Bubba. But Jim, are you queued up? Are you ready on your end?
I'm ready to go, baby.
All right, we're going to try this like we always do. Countdown from 5, and then I will say press play now, at which point you press play. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Press play now.
Boom, and here we go, and we're starting in progress, obviously. Big power slam, that was Animal's. Animal's comebacks were always the same because he had the trademark moves, but they always got over because those were moves he should do. And see, Bobby goes to the eyes on big guys, right? Which there's no eye machine at the gym. Here comes Stan, a week as a member of the Midnight Express. He's in one of the biggest matches of his life, and he's going to bump around a little bit too. Referee Pee Wee Anderson there. Bless him. And Big Bubba was still my bodyguard, obviously, at this point. So he's at ringside at the Crockett Cup also. That was the, oh, good Lord.
You were fanning Stan, saying...
I was fanning Stan.
$1 million. $1 million.
Yes, $1 million bucks. $1 million. But anyway, I was going to say that Big Bubba had a match with Ole as part of one of these single main events on the Crockett Cup extravaganza that year. All right, and Hawk and Stan, 2 years after their skirmish in the AWA. And, you know, the thing with Hawk and Animal both is they stuck to basic stuff, but they could move for guys that size. And the clotheslines and the flying shit, boom. It was simple, it was basic, but it worked. And there a chance for Bobby to make the save and Stan to go to the eyes. And Stan's still trying to figure out the Midnight Express teamwork. There we go. And now look, Hawk's going to feed me because he's right there. And as soon as Stan gets off and the referee's back is turned, that's where he's going with me. Take a little. Well, no, Bobby first. I apologize. With the wrist tape. And you always, and there's my shot. You always use the gimmicks with the Road Warriors. That way you're not physically man-to-man, one-on-one taking over on these big guys. You've used some object to cheat, some assistance. And Bobby, just especially, we missed a lot of the shine for these guys, but Bobby was so smooth and going up for the press slams and taking the big backdrops and hitting the ropes. He was always in the right place for them so that they could do their shit and look as good as possible. But see, look, Hawk's taking plenty of big bumps because it's for the illegal guy that's cheating from behind his back. So, you know, now if Moxley doesn't sell like this these days, the guys that are supposed to be non-selling, oh, I caught the racket. Thank you. Supposed to be non-selling guys. Anyway, boom, nice leaping knee. Hawk collapses. And that was, you know, boom, you go over and you piss Animal off, and he tries to get in, and that gives the heels a chance to do something. But unfortunately, Bobby and Stan still getting their teamwork.
At least they have matching tights.
That's true. And over the top rope would have been a disqualification had the referee seen it, because this is the NWA, and folks, we wrestle. And now the referee asking the people if indeed they did throw him over the top rope. Boom. While I've got Pee Wee, here's the shot we were going to do with the racket a minute ago. And Hawk's selling like Ricky Morton.
Yeah.
Because you have to. You just have to know what to sell and how to sell it. And now, see, what can you work on these guys? Do you work an arm, the leg? They're as big as telephone poles. A lot of times Bobby would work the stomach because you take the wind away from the big guy. And boom, he's fighting up from underneath. Stan gets the chance to. I don't think Stan wanted to potato hawk anything he did. and the heels are calling this, by the way, as they go along, because as I said, there was very little worked out ahead of time except for the finish and the big bench press kickoff. Shit, Stan, get back in, stop him, make the tag.
Beautiful punches by Bobby Eaton.
Well, that's because Bobby, he'd throw one and you'd never feel it, but he'd let you sell it. He'd give you time. And now look, and here's the big fucking boom, the boot to the face. Bobby with a little bounce. You've got to give the guy a chance. And Hawk, these tags were not the hottest in the world because the Road Warriors didn't do the roll and duck and dodge, but still the pop is enormous just because they got the tag. Somebody's VHS didn't track quite well there. Animals come back. The big backdrops that Bobby would take, it was always the same, but people always loved it. And then the big flying shoulder tackle is the flying dingbat. No, drop kick first, boom, and got the referee out. Poor Pee Wee got smashed up. No referee for the fucking pinfall, so Stan makes the save, and we get the four-way going.
And you guys took out Ellering.
Yeah, well, no, Ellering is over on the corner, because that's where, did I get Ellering? I think I did.
Either you or Bobby.
Anyway, there's the flying dingbat. It was called that because one time Bobby said, when do I come in? I said, on the fucking flying dingbat. Anyway, here I'm going to burn fucking, but Paul trips me. Boom. The animal wasn't supposed to take a bump on it, but he did. I go through the ropes. Racket shot to Bobby. Animal's got another racket shot to Bobby, and watch the bump Bubba takes. And the pop is enormous here, but when he flies through the ropes, I'm just standing up. He knocks me down, and we're falling for 5 minutes. That was not planned. And now Ellering's got the racket. Racket shots. Holy shit. The place is blowing, and they're going to hopefully forget here in a second that the Road Warriors have just got fucked, because that's what they want to do, get the Road Warriors out of the tournament because they couldn't win it. They also didn't want to do a job, and they also want to get some heat on us and show the people that the Road Warriors got screwed to heat up any rematch we might have. And that's what Bobby took that post and, let's get the fuck out of here. Jesus Christ, what more can we do? And there you go.
Crockett Cup 87, Randy Anderson bumping all over the place, too.
Yeah, that was about 7 minutes out of probably we did about 15, I guess. And I don't know why that's, why it was trimmed so bad on the video and why that it's not on the network. But anyway, that was what you did. You shined the Road Warriors up. You got all their shit in early. They did shit to you, but you slowed it down in the middle so they weren't just beating you to powder. Then you cheated. Double teamed, used an object, got them from behind, got them down, and created some jeopardy. And then you gave them the big comeback, and either they went over or you got out of it. But that was the formula, and it worked because the people believed in those guys more than they believed in anybody else. Anyway, we'll do another one. The one from Raleigh is different because it had Dennis instead of Stan, and I believe it is longer because it was telecast mostly in its entirety on TBS, and we'll see a few more of the Road Warriors spots in their entirety on that one, on the Drive-Thru.